Why should you buy an e-bike? What's a good brand? What are you looking for? Let's talk about some talking points. And here's a little segment of different e-bikes, different shapes, and different sizes. Enjoy. What's up, YouTube world? It's Ryan from Riding in Style, and I am a few miles away from home currently. I'm actually in the somewhat beautiful state of Iowa, believe it or not, and I'm near Des Moines at a shopping mall here called Jordan Creek, I believe. And I'm wondering if this is the little creek as the background. It's actually not too bad. It's kind of a nice place. It's a beautiful day today. And it's a beautiful day if you own an e-bike to take it out for a ride. That is for sure. So I'm just taking a little stroll here. I didn't have a plan on recording a video, but it's such a beautiful day. And I thought about a lot of the content creators that are out with their bikes riding. You know, it's like a seasonal thing because it's all weather dependent. And I'll just apologize now. I don't know how the noise is, wind noise, but I don't have my microphone set up or anything. But anyway, I get a lot of questions from people asking me why they should buy an e-bike. Like, what's the appeal? Is it a good investment? It seems like it's cheating. It seems like it's for maybe like older people, or, you know, I don't know. And honestly, I think e-bikes are getting definitely a bad rap, as a lot of times when you think of an e-bike, a lot of people associate it with like those that are riding like the electric motorcycle looking ones, dirt bike ones that are whizzing in and out of traffic, doing their wheelies or whatever. But we got to look past that. That doesn't describe any and all of the e-bike market. In fact, what's encouraging to me is that I'm seeing a lot of elderly people buying electric bikes, and that gives them an opportunity to get out of the house. They're able to go for a ride. And a lot of times they're doing it as couples, and they're on their e-bikes and they're pedaling very slowly, but they're moving, you know. And I think just having that option of a motor, you know, it removes some of the limitations for people to be able to, otherwise maybe they couldn't ride a bike. Maybe their legs aren't as strong, you know, maybe they've had knee replacements or bad backs or whatever the case is. They have the option to ride as like a moped essentially. But more specifically, I get a lot of questions on people asking me about, should I get a wired bike versus any other bike? Now, again, I don't like to recommend brands specifically, but I like to recommend quality. And I hope you understand the difference, where I could be loyal to a brand because maybe they patronize me, maybe they send me a bike to review. I'm not that guy though. So I'm all about talking about your money, your hard-earned money that you're thinking about making an educated decision and investing in the right thing that could potentially, you know, help your life, give you lots of memories, right? So I'm going to talk to you from my own personal point of view, as looking out for you, the viewer, the potential buyer of an e-bike. And so I think for me personally, there is a benefit. There are many benefits to owning one. And it's going to come down to you as to your reason why you would want to invest in one. So brand wise, I think first thing you should look for is where you're going to be riding your bikes. If you're going to be doing mostly road road riding on paved sidewalks or some paved roadways, and maybe a little bit of off-roading, then you know that opens up a different market of e-bike. But if you're going to be like strictly off-road, gravel trails, maybe some mud, that's a whole nother type of bike. Now I think either one, you can't go wrong with like a fat tire bike to get a little bit more grip. However, a fat tire bike will add some weight, and you know, it'll reduce your overall top speed as there is more traction on the road that needs to be accounted for. However, I wouldn't let that sway you. You can get like the fat knobby tires, which will definitely slow you down, but it'll give you more grip in different situations. And again, I'm sorry about the wind noise. I'm just this is an impromptu video. I'm literally just trying to answer some questions that were asked to me, specifically about a wired Freedom or a wired cruiser. So I don't want to make this too long. I do just want to take in the sun that's shining so beautifully today. If you're a smaller rider, and by that I would mean between 5 feet to about 5'5" or 5'6", I would recommend getting a 20-inch tire bike. That's it. That would be what's comfortable in terms of your pedal, as well as putting your feet on the ground when you're riding and you have to come to a stop. I find that about a 20-inch frame would be perfect for that height of a rider. If you start to go up from there, if you're about 5'9" or 5'10", I think you should be fine with a 26-inch tire. What ends up happening is that a lot of times people get their bikes and they're way too big when they take it out of the box. They're like, whoa, I didn't realize it was going to be a monster, like just a massive bike. And it's heavy. I think some of the issues people have is that they think about these e-bikes as like regular mountain bikes or any other bike that they've ever ridden, and you have to account for the weight difference, because now these bikes have motors in their wheels and they have batteries on their frames. So you're looking at an extra maybe 30 pounds heavier than just a regular bike. So that affects the way the bike rides. It affects how it turns. It also affects how heavy it is when you come to a stop and you have to try and get off of your bike. These are some of the considerations that people don't think about when getting on an e-bike. Also, the raw power of it is, if you are at a complete stop and you decide to use the throttle, it will take off. And if you're not ready for that, that's how unfortunately a lot of people crash. And this is a good intro video, I guess, for people considering e-bikes, of just a few considerations on what to think about in your purchasing process. So if you're a shorter rider, a 20-inch tire bike would probably be more ideal for you. If you are a taller rider, a 26-inch should be fine. Where you're riding, you could do the 3-inch wide tires. You could do a 4-inch wide tires. The more wider and knobbier they are, it will reduce your top speed. But if you're not looking for a faster top speed, then you know it's okay. But if you want a bike that can go 40 plus miles per hour, you may have to take that tire and trim it down to a like a street tire, like a regular street road tire, and that will bring back some of that top end speed. Okay, now we talked about tires and size of the bikes. The evolution of e-bikes are changing, where the new standard, in my opinion, has become a bike now seems to have 2 batteries and eventually dual motors. There are a few companies that are ahead of it right now that are offering both the dual battery, dual motor bikes. Fabulous e-bikes is one of them. Their Furious line is their higher performance line, and they have a huge selection of bikes. I will probably link their website either here or somewhere on this video, and you can go check it out. They used to have 2 websites, one for Canadian customers and one for American customers, but I believe they might have merged into one site, but it will depend on where you're buying from. So they do ship from Canada throughout the US as well. So Fabulous is a great bike. That's why it's called Fabulous. And they're also called Furious because they're actually making the competition furious, because as soon as another brand tries to catch up, they're already coming out with their next improvement. So they offer a dual motor. They offer step-through frames. They have your 20-inch tires. They have the 26-inch tires. There's basically a bike for every rider. And I'm being honest, they have lower powered, 750 watt motors. They have dual 750 watt motors. So you can get a good beginner bike, that's not as threatening, or you can go full performance. It's really up to you. Check out the website and look through the details. They have different shapes, different frames, different colors, and that's what I'll say about that. Then you have your wired bike. So wired is basically two bikes. That's all you're getting. You're getting either a wired Freedom or a wired Cruiser. And right now they're offering the dual batteries, a single motor. It is a 1500 watt rear hub motor, which means the motor's in the back tire, and there's no motor up front. You'll get one 20 amp hour battery in the frame and another 15 amp hour battery in the rear rack. Only difference to consider here is the frame that you want. The wired Freedom has a crossbar at the top, and the wired Cruiser is a step-through frame. So a little bit more, I guess, user-friendly for people that are worried about having to have a high step-over bike. You can do a step-through. These are one of those heavier bikes. It's very powerful. I'm not gonna sit here or stand here and tell you it's a beginner bike, because it really isn't. But they just came out with a few new colors to consider, and you can check their website. Maybe I'll leave a link here if I forget to put it in. It's basically wiredebikes.com, and they're a reputable company. Customer service is pretty good. They're really quick to fix any type of problems you may have. They're not just leaving you hanging. And those are two types of mountain bikes that I would consider, for mostly road riding and some light off-road trails. If you are an adventure seeker and you are looking at going completely off-road and doing mountain trails on private property, doing those types of things, like endo type riding, then you may look at a whole nother type of bike, which is not a traditional e-bike, because they don't have pedals, they have pegs, and so you're not able to pedal the bike, which is a huge drawback to me. In case your battery dies, you're not able to pedal your bike to your destination. You're going to have to basically walk it, and those bikes are heavy. But a few reputable brands on those type of e-dirt bikes would be like your Surons or your Talarias, and there's another brand that just came out. I reached out to someone from the company, or they reached out to me, I don't remember, and there's like a third brand that had just started, that's getting some traction. So end of the day, the whole point of this video is just to basically explain that e-bikes are nothing new. They've been around for a long time. I think they became a huge piece to our society around the whole COVID lockdowns, and now it just seems that they're evolving to become, a lot of people are ditching their cars or their bus passes or whatever they use for transportation and switching over to owning an e-bike as their primary mode of transportation. Yeah, there's limitations. I mean, you're not able to go to like a grocery store unless you have like a basket or something, but just got a phone call. Anyway, so the point is, if you are for e-bikes or if you're against it, honestly, it really doesn't matter, because it's already taking off. It's integrated into our society. I think what's going to start happening though is that some of the states are going to start becoming more enforceful with some legislation, maybe coming out with actual parameters of what it even means to have an e-bike, whether it's a motor size, maybe it has to have pedals to be considered legal, maybe turn signals. I'm honestly not sure, but maybe something where you'll have to register it, maybe even insure it. So that could be coming down the pike. But anyway, I just want to make this short video to shed some light on people that are probably going through the process. I do get a lot of questions on some of my past videos from people who are clearly new to the e-bike market, and they're considering, you know, their options and what's available and what to look for. So this was just a short video to make some of those points known. But anyway, I do want to thank you all for watching this short video. This is Ryan from Riding in Style. Yeah.